What's up, Moose Crew? We're back again with another Moose Munchies recipe, and today we're doing huevos rancheros. Huevos rancheros is great for breakfast or for dinner, and it's a super easy recipe where we have 3 cut up Roma tomatoes, an onion, and 2 jalapenos. And then we have our 2 corn tortillas, and then underneath that we have some eggs. These guys are going to be fried, so they're going to be cooked last, but we're going to start with the salsa. So let's get into it. Alright, so first we're going to start with a splash, maybe about a tablespoon of vegetable oil. Okay, maybe 1.5 tablespoons, but that's okay because we're using this to first fry up the onions and the jalapenos. So then we're going to dump all those boys in. Oh no, one was lost to the grill. Taking our spoon, scrape that into there. And then these will cook down because onions just hold a lot of moisture. And so I wanted to start with them since I am using my smaller pot. And the really nice thing about when you're making the salsa is if you want to make it a lot spicier, you can always add like a habanero or something. But today, I'm in a more mild mood, so I'm just using the jalapenos. Now I'm going to add in my tomatoes to help add some moisture to the mixture. Don't be afraid to mush up the tomatoes. It's all just going to become soupy and saucy in the end of this. Alright, so as you see, the liquid from the tomatoes is starting to come out and it's starting to boil and help simmer out the vegetables and the onions and stuff. So we're getting there. We're almost there. If you're smarter than me, you would have used a bigger pot so it would spread out a little more, but this will work just fine. Something that I almost forgot about is a little handful of salt to add to the mix. But that's okay, I did not forget. Alright, that's about the consistency that we want because it's going to be a little wetter and a little saucier. This isn't going to be blended, so this is, like I said, what you're looking for in that. So now we're going to do our fry oil. Remember the basic safety of using oil on an open flame is that it's very flammable, and so make sure you're not doing too much oil and make sure it's not too overheated and that what you're frying doesn't have a whole lot of moisture in it because that's what causes that huge bubble up flare. Today we're just doing eggs and tortillas and it'll be okay, but be safe. Gonna drop that boy in. And when you're frying the tortillas, make sure to get it completely submerged in the hot oil, because otherwise it's going to like start bubbling up in the center, and then you're going to get this uneven fry where then the inside is kind of not quite chewy, but it's like when you're trying to bite into it, it's like you have to tear it and then all your stuff's going to fall off. And you can use flour tortillas if you want. I just personally, with this recipe, really like white corn tortillas. You see how it's bubbling? You gotta gently press down on that. And then when the edges start to crisp up, that's when I flip it. I kind of flip it maybe 2 or 3 times. So you see it's making a dome. So let's flip that over. You're essentially just waiting for it to get nice and brown and crispy. So I'm gonna cut my recording, take care of my tortillas, and then I'll come back to you guys with the eggs. So it's the second tortilla, it's almost done. You want it to be a little more evenly browned, but I tried to balance the table out as much as I can. I put in some extra blocks of wood, and it's still just slightly slanted, so one side's gonna come out probably a little more uneven. But once it's just uniformly crispy, that's when you know it's good. Bad boy up. Drip off the excess oil. Alright. So now, frying the egg is going to be the most terrifying part because it's going to spit at you and it's going to be angry, but it's okay. Fry oil can't hurt you for that long. So as first, we're going to make sure that we turn this down just a little bit more. Then you just gotta be quick with it. So here, I'm going to slide that out of the way. Like I said, it's going to be scary, but we'll get through it. And just 1, 2, 3, go. And I just poke all the little bubbles. We're gonna get through it. You're gonna flick the oil to get the center cooked. And it's gonna look really weird, but it is honestly the most like amazing consistency. Now I'm not your doctor, but you probably shouldn't be eating deep fried eggs every single day. But you know what, when you're camping, you can let it slide. All right. That's the very first one. Oh no, my yolk broke. Ah, my tortilla! Get off there. Don't worry, we can redeem ourselves. So we'll just let that little egg guy cook. I'm gonna rescue my tortilla. Alright. There's a skill to frying eggs like this. And we will all learn it together one day. Alright, so second egg. Again, just gotta... Alright, there you go. Shh, it's okay. Oh, big and scary, told you. But yes, there are two types of people in this world. People that are terrified of frying and people that just suck it up. I'm one of the people that just suck it up because I've worked in so many various kitchens and whatnot, and like I said, the fry oil just hurts temporarily. I'm gonna try to not break my yolk, but if whatever happens, happens. I'm being very gentle. Try to let some of the excess oil drip off of that. Be very careful so I don't drop my other torta. All right. And there's my eggs. Let's get some of the salsa on there. Beautiful. So here are my boys. I'm gonna sprinkle just a little bit of salt. Not quite as much as I use in the salsa, but there we go. All right, here we go. Oh yeah, that's really good. It's like, the corn tortilla is like ever so slightly sweet. And then you get the really nice savory flavor of the egg. And then when you get into the salsa, you're hit with this really good flavor of onion. And then kind of back to a sweetness with the tomato. For me, the jalapeno isn't too spicy, which like I said, today I don't want my food to fight me today. But It's really good because it just adds a very subtle kick to it. But yeah, so like I said, this is a super easy recipe. It just takes a little while if you want to make your own salsa. But honestly, you can always cheat and get your own store-bought salsa. Some people want a more fruity, maybe like a peach or like a mango salsa. Or if you're someone like me, you get more of a just like a savory salsa. And I just personally really like that. You can also get, you know, you can get whatever tortillas, like I say, you can use flour, you can use corn. A lot of times it just comes down to preference. But yeah, I personally just really like to fry up my own tortillas and my eggs and stuff. And you do not have to use nearly the amount of fry oil that I used when cooking up the eggs. You can just use it on just a plain old skillet and just make some little sunny side up eggs. I just really, really like the texture. If I'm already frying the tortillas, I'm just gonna reuse that oil anyway. And speaking of the fry oil, so when you're camping, you're gonna look at that and you're gonna go, well, how am I supposed to dispose of that properly? Because you cannot just throw it out in the woods. So the thing that I would do is I would bring an old milk gallon and a funnel, and when it cools down, just pour it straight into there. So then you have a container that you can easily throw it out in. At my house, I use an old yogurt container, but that's because it's sitting up on my counter. So an old milk gallon will be really good. Like I said, just make sure that the oil is like completely cooled off before you do that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video today. Please like and subscribe down below if you want to see more. Let me also know what recipes you want to see. I'm working on a chilaquiles, which is similar but different to the huevos rancheros and stuff. I am working on a burrito, and I'm also working on kind of a easier rice and bean recipe where it's not so time consuming. But yeah, so, and we don't have to do Mexican food. I just really, really like Mexican food in general and stuff. So let me know down below what kind of recipes you want me to pursue, and I'll try to get on them as soon as possible. So yeah, thanks. Have a great one. Bye.